Just recently, the wife and I took a trip to Disney World, and I got to tell you, it was amazing. It's the most magical place on earth for a reason. And it's probably been 30 years since I've been to these parks almost. We went to all four parks. And so a lot is much how I remember it, but so much has changed traveling to these parks, getting around, being able to get to each attraction and make sure you make the most of your time. I'm not going to make this a travel blog video, but I would definitely say do your research beforehand. I definitely took full advantage of getting into the Disney spirit, let me tell you. Donald Duck's my favorite Disney character. But, I wouldn't say I'm this like uber huge Disney fan or collector even, but come on, there's a huge soft spot in my heart for the Disney brand and the ingenuity, the creativity, the Imagineering that goes into these parks. Every detail from the food you order to the drinks you order is themed to your favorite movies and TV shows and characters that you loved to watch growing up and still do today. A huge, huge shout out to my wife. She's incredible. She worked incredibly hard getting all this together, planning it, learning how the parks work to make this a really magical trip. And we had so much fun. We're already planning our next trip. So we're definitely going back here in the near future. As magical as the trip was and how excited we are to go back, and I can see why people frequent these parks. I want to bring that magic home with me. If you've watched my channel, you know me well enough to know that I love movie merchandise and toys and collectibles from our favorite movies and TV shows. You know Disney's got you covered there. You know that. They're gonna get you with stuff as soon as the experience or the ride's over with. And so that was my main objective, trying to find things that are exclusive to the Disney parks. Take for example, these Indiana Jones figures. I don't think you can probably find those anywhere else. I didn't bring these home. They kind of look like Christmas ornaments, but I'm telling you, Disney knows how to do it. They got me when I was a kid. They got me as an adult, right? You go sit down, you watch the Indiana Jones stunt show. I'm fired up for Indiana Jones merch. You ride Pirates of the Caribbean, right? This amazing ride. It just inspires you, the creativity behind it, but this amazing ride that became a movie. You know, they're gonna get you just in the moment. It's smelling like fire and gun smoke, and guess what? As soon as you get off the ride, bam, Pirates of the Caribbean themed Mickey. These are actually really cool. The Mickey figures and boat. Maybe I'll get those next time. So what did I pick up? Well, to answer that question, the first stop we're going to make is Galaxy's Edge. Disney hit the nail on the head, and what a technical feat this was, putting this world together. They used that X-Wing in The Mandalorian to shoot, which is neat. It's like a live movie prop. Standing next to a life-size Millennium Falcon. Doesn't get any better than that. Well, it can, and it's when you find something that you just knew you had to bring home with you. And that's actually what you're seeing here. My wife shot this footage. So this is the first order short-range evacuation vehicle, and I thought this thing was awesome. It's a Disney Parks exclusive. You can only get this vehicle in the Disney parks. And as you can see, it's a decent sized box, so I had to lug this thing home with me. But I'm really glad that I did. What's cool about this thing, it's actually modeled after the vehicle that you're in on Rise of the Resistance. One of the best attractions out there, and it's a must do when you're there. Something really drew me into this vehicle, or this little spacecraft here. I just think it's really, really neat. I love the design of it. It's simple, and it doesn't necessarily just scream or read Star Wars either. On the side, you've got some buttons that the inner lights light up, and that's an added bonus. And when you pop the ramp down in the back, the little inner vehicle or compartment slides out. And with the size of it, these are 18th scale figures that are inside there. So yes, you could definitely use it for more than just Star Wars. And the droid that you see there in front actually came with it as well. So that's another little added bonus. The figures that were in there are from, I use for my APC, my 18th scale APC. I need more men. And more men you shall have. And fear not, it scales great with the Star Wars, the Kenner Star Wars figures as well. kind of a weird group going on the ride today, but listen, they all came together for Disney. They did it in the name of Disney, unified. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with this thing. You know, as a kid, I used to be obsessed with, and I guess I still am, or kind of fascinated or obsessed with ride design. And I always wanted to come up with different rides. So maybe here at 2 Day Rentals, I'll design an Aliens ride and kind of use this vehicle as some sort of inspiration on what we could have if we had an Aliens experience, much like Rise of the Resistance. I think the world I was excited to visit the most was the world of Pandora at Animal Kingdom. Being such a big fan of James Cameron and his eye for design and his movies and his aesthetic, it was awesome to walk around in a world and environment that he helped design and build. He was an honorary Imagineer elected to help create the world of Avatar. And so it's incredibly immersive. I'll say it again, the pictures and videos do not do it justice whatsoever. And I could easily make an argument that the Avatar rides and attractions were some of my favorite. They're just so immersive. They really take you to that world. I mean, the Flight of Passage ride it was just like you're on the back of a Banshee flying through the world of Pandora. Incredible job. And one of the experiences that I wanted to do while there was design my own Avatar figure, and it's something you have to book in advance. And if the park's not too busy, you may actually get a chance to walk up and do it. But here's the figure that I designed, and the whole experience was well worth the time spent and the money spent to do it. Because as an action figure collector, how cool is it to design your own avatar and your likeness? So the whole process goes, they scan your face in, which you're seeing here. And then after that, you get to choose all the different features. Much like everything at Disney, it's totally immersive. And I think for someone that collects a lot of different action figures, it's really cool to have a hand in what your figure looks like. I mean, they show you some examples of some outcomes, and you choose your eye color and different body markings or tattoos that you want to custom your avatar. And I think you even get a handful of hair choices and face sculpts. So a really, really neat thing to do, and exclusive to Disney. I mean, where else are you going to do this, right?
Go ahead and push that red button for me. And there you are. Awesome. And to open up your chamber, just going to push on either side of the top there. And I'm going to push your card inside there for right now. And to get the figure out, you just push from the back and the cardboard slides right out.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thanks, man. Very cool.
If you need a sack, just check back with the podium and they can get you a bag.
Thank you so much.
Okay?
I appreciate
it. Thanks very much.
Pretty sure it looks just like me.
For me?
What you think? Thanks. I really like the container it came in. It kind of reminds me of the capsule from the movie that they used to transport you into your avatar. So I thought that was a neat little added thing they did. The figure's definitely very well made too, which I was happy about. One of my complaints, I guess, if I had a small one, it doesn't come with any accessories, which is kind of a bummer. But it does have really great articulation. If you want to add some more accessories, I'm sure you'll have no problem finding some in this scale. I certainly didn't. I gave mine a pulse rifle. Let's face it, it's possible that Aliens and Avatar could be in the same universe, right? But regardless, I think it looks pretty cool with that in tow. It came from my Kenner Hicks figure, and it's the exact same scale, so it works out really great. I really do think this is one of those experiences, if you're a fan of the films, and you're looking to bring something home that's very unique, exclusive to the Disney parks, this would definitely be one of those things. And like I said, with the size of it, the quality of which it's made, and the different articulation points, I think you'd have a lot of fun with this one. My wife is actually going to get one done for her next time we're out there, so I thought that was really cool too. We were over the moon when we found out that Tron was going to be open while we were there. Let me tell you, this roller coaster is freaking amazing. It's unlike anything that I've ever ridden before. I love roller coasters. The whole experience, very immersive, obviously, as Disney, walking through the queue. You feel like you're about to go out on the grid, and it's a whole lot of fun. Sadly, you have to get back to the real world after these trips, but I was not going to leave without doing Tron's Build-A-Figure experience. Check out how epic this is. Look at this thing. Listen, if I was a kid and this was an option, you know what? It doesn't matter. As an adult doing this, having this as an option as a souvenir to take home was so much fun. I mean, that's my face in a glitchy video form on a really cool looking figure. It lights up, it speaks, which I'll get to in a minute. Look at the awesome case that it came in, this amazing Tron arcade cabinet. It's so very cool. The process to customize this figure is way more immersive, way more involved. You step inside this booth and it scans your face, a few different facial expressions, and you actually record audio that's given to you that the figure speaks. It's saved all onto this little mini SD card, and it plugs into the back of the figure with all that data. I get it. The quality of the sound is a little suspect. The video's a bit glitchy, but I kind of find it all kind of endearing a little. I think it's pretty neat. And my only drawback would be if I had to record the lines again, I may have tried to make sure everything was really silent and clear. That card that plugs into the back of the figures actually plugs into different accessories. I may consider getting the light cycle that the figure can actually sit on. I highly recommend this experience. You customize the figure head to toe, the lights, the armor, the helmets. A must do in my opinion. Super 7 had their reaction figures there at the Tron Light Cycle souvenir shop, and I'm not sure if these are exclusive to the park or not, but I decided to take home Tron and his Light Cycle. I love the coloring on it. I love the design. Those reaction figures, I think I may have said this before, but I really do enjoy those. They can be a little pricey, but for something like this, for one like this, even if it's not an exclusive, it's got the light cycle there with it. I think it's pretty cool. And I guess I'm kind of a sucker for playset or vehicle figure combo. I like the figure can get inside there, and it's got a little action to it where it rolls around. I was very happy with the selection of Tron merchandise to bring home, and like I said, I know that the Build-A-Figure is exclusive, not sure about the light cycle, but I was very excited to add these to my collection. Yeah! All right! I did pick up a few more smalls, some little things. Really, really enjoy Haunted Mansion. It's even better than I remember it as a kid. It's a great ride. Again, very immersive. I picked up this little ride cart. Again, sucker for a ride cart, and it's a pullback toy with all the ghosts in there, and that's sort of when I say ride cart, that's the cart that you ride around inside the ride. Hollywood Tower of Terror. I mean, what an incredible experience. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, and I'm happy to see the branding still in there for that. I mean, walking through the hallways of the hotel and into the foyer, it's all right in my wheelhouse. I would stay at this hotel. And as much as I love this experience, I was a little bummed that they didn't have more merch for this ride, something to take home. I would have taken home a mini elevator if they had that, or something like that. But they did have a few things that for rides or attractions that maybe don't have a ton of merch for, they did have these penny presses outside where you pay like $1 and you get the imprint done on the penny. And I think they're neat little items to take home. They look good with the rest of my little Disney collection, albeit small. But I may try to get a few more of those the next time we go to the park. It's an inspiring trip. It's neat seeing all the imagination that goes into making such an immersive experience. It's also cool to take the time to go through some of the side exhibits, and this is some of the oldest Disney merchandise, some of the oldest toys, and stuff like that's just really cool to see. And I can't think of another place where you may be able to find these type of things. There is a lot to see and do. And I feel like we did a pretty good job of doing everything we wanted to. Maybe if we had to do it over again, we may try to implement a rest day because it can be exhausting going through all the parks and trying to take it all in. But we loved it so much, we're definitely planning on going again, possibly next year, more than likely next year. And I guess since I was a kid, I've always just loved theme parks and being able to meet and greet with some of your favorite characters, being able to live the movies that you love, and just experience things at a very immersive level. It's inspiring for someone like me who just appreciates the creation of things and the design that has to go into implementing all these immersive experiences. I mean, where else could you go sit in a drive-in movie theater, watch some good old sci-fi, scarf down a yummy burger, and then when that's done, take in some gorgeous scenery while you walk around and check out all the hotels and just enjoy the theme parks. I hope you enjoyed me sharing my experience at Disney and all the cool stuff that I found, some Disney exclusive merchandise. And if this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by 2-Day Rentals. If it has to do with movies, movie merchandise, video games, and music from time to time, we're probably going to talk about it here on my channel. So, it's like I always say at the end of my videos, let's be kind as we rewind and fast forward through time. Thank you so much for stopping by 2-Day Rentals.